All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. And I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth 100% securely. I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to show thyself approved. This is Brother Bayan from the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Hebrew Israelite Camp, coming back to you with another quick lesson. And it's pretty much just a quick lesson based off of this clip that Amawar Gabar, GMS Awaken 144, that's his page, and he have another page titled Amawar Gabar, and he had posted a video, and pretty much, I'm not gonna play the whole video, but I will play a little bit of it, and ultimately, what he was saying in the video, it goes right along what the scripture said, right? And so, real quick, let's go ahead and get to the video.
Going away. The U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. A law in place back in 2008, they snuck it in a big, 10,000-page bill where the banks could seize the depositors and creditors.
All right, so right there, what he said, right there off top. Okay, let's rewind that real quick.
Dollars going away. The U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. Put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in.
Right. See, right there, what he said, they snuck it in, and that goes right there with the scriptures, right? So that's Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. So but everything he's saying is pretty much in the scriptures, and so it just basically further proves that we almost out of here. Yasser Allah. All right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and of course you got the speckled birds who look like the other heathen nation. All right, so we almost out of here, man. So but we're about to turn up. All right, so it's Isaiah 10 and 1, and it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." You see, and that's what they did. They snuck that law in. Okay. And it says, "In that right grievous what they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people." You see that? And this is Yahweh Shah saying they're taking the right of the poor of my people. Who is his people? Yasser Allah, the so-called Negroes, Latino, Native American. Okay? And it said that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay? And that's exactly what they're doing. As a matter of fact, there's a article, I really don't have enough time to go into it, but Lord willing, I'll be able to do a part 2 of this. But there's an article of with the J.P. Morgan and Chase Bank, which when all of those basically those banks that went belly up, or those banks that went bankrupt, they lost, a lot of those people lost their deposit. Okay, and to summarize that article, those people is not going to get those deposits back. Okay, and he's going to mention a little bit of that too, and that's what he's talking about in that law that he's getting ready to explain. So let's go back into the video.
10,000-page bill where the banks could seize the depositors and creditors' deposits. So people are asking me what's going on with the U.S. dollar. I'm sure most of you are aware by now. If you're not, go ahead and let you in on it. The dollar's going away. The U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. We will put in what's called a CBDC, which is a programmable digital currency. They've been working on that for several years. Another name for it is Biden bucks, some people are calling it. So cash is going away. And if you've not been made aware up till now, if you've not seen any news reports, because the media is mainly blacking this out, so you don't really know what's going on. But all the leaders around the world are,
and that's intentional right there, right? Because he said the media is blacking this out, and that's pretty much intentional. You can go to Isaiah chapter 60. Let's read that, Isaiah 60, and we'll start at verse 1. Okay, because it says, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh Shah is rising upon thee." And the glory of the Lord is basically shown throughout the whole world. We actually seen the glory of the Lord by way of this storm, this devastation right here in Tulsa. Okay, that a lot of people are still without lights. at right now as I'm, making this video epistle, okay? A lot of people are still without lights, all right? And and that's pretty much the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. He can control everything around you, all right? In verse 2, and he said, behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. You see that? When you go into that word gross, it basically goes into ignorant, okay? Gross darkness of the people. The gross darkness of the people, when you go into that, it basically mean ignorant of the people, all right? People that are ignorant or oblivious to the things that are going around them, okay? And he said, but the Lord Yahweh shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. You see that? And so Yahweh's glory is being seen, and people don't recognize that. And a lot of time when you see Yahweh's glory, people walking by and they're oblivious. Those are the people that's in gross darkness. They don't recognize the work of Yahweh. Okay, so they're in gross darkness. All right. Let's go back into the video.
Are telling everyone to dump the dollar, and their citizens are following suit. So what that's going to do is just destroy the value of our currency. It will go to basically zero, just like Venezuela. If you want to see what's going to happen here, look at what happened to Venezuela when its dollar collapsed or its currency collapsed. That's exactly what's coming here. So everyone needs to be aware of this. They also, in another component, put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in, a big, 10,000 page bill, where the banks could seize the depositors' and creditors' deposits. And there's...
Which I just read that in Isaiah 10:1. That's an unrighteous decree right there.
No guarantee or even law that says they have to give it back. So this is already happening in other countries around the world. Banks are being burnt to the ground, and the media has a complete blackout on it. So that's how it's something they don't want you knowing about. They want you to be unaware of what's coming. So here's what I'll give you a timeline, okay? In July, they will roll out what's called the FedNow system. Now, that is basically a payment processing system similar to PayPal or something like that. So from now on, right after that, they'll implement the digital currency. They'll crash the dollar, and then they'll let chaos reign for a few months.
Okay, right here. See, he said they'll let chaos reign. And see, that is one of the warning that Yahushua gave his disciple in the book of Matthew 24. Somewhere about the 10th verse or something like that. No, Salakia, let's read up a little bit. No, Matthew 24:7, right? Because he says, because on the 4th verse, because he said, take heed, Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. That was the first warning with the false prophet. Okay. And verse 5, where he says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Okay, in verse 6, and he said, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. See, that was but the end is not yet. And see, so we been hearing of rumors of war, right? All the way up until this point, during the C-19 incident, all the way up until this point. And now we're getting ready to go past those rumors of wars, okay? Because now these people, these devils who control this society, is about to mess with people's money, okay? And so this is the next step that Yahweh shall warn the disciples, right? In verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. And see that? And those famines and pestilence, basically that's what they're going to do. They're going to put the squeeze on people, basically by crashing the dollar, all right? And they're going to make chaos rain out, just like he's saying in the video, okay? This one is like this. It's all over the scripture, man. All over the scripture, okay? Which we can read another one in Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach, chapter 40. All right, the point would be in verse 9, but we'll start at verse 1, okay? Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 1. And it said, great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam. Okay, this talking about the whole world right here. From the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things. okay, which is basically talking about the earth. We would say the mother of all things is talking about the whole earth. In verse 2, it said, their imagination of things to come in the day of death troubled their thought and caused fear of heart. Okay, so a lot of people are going to be in a crazy situation where a lot of people are going to be afraid. And it said, from him that sitteth on a throne of glory unto him that is humble in earth and ashes. From him that weareth purple in a crown unto him that is clothed with a linen frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep do change his knowledge. And it says, a little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, trouble in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awaketh, and a man marvel that the fear was nothing. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Death and bloodshed, strife and sore calamity, famine, tribulation, and scourge, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sake came the flood. Okay? And so, and that going back to that, when you read Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach, chapter 39, the chapter before, 39, and go down to the 24th verse. No, it's Elijah, the 28th verse, okay? Because it said, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, okay? And so all of these things are going to be created, and the destruction is going to come upon all the sinners that basically constantly break the laws of the Heavenly Father. That's ultimately who the sinners are, all right? But, there's a lot of things that goes on all throughout the whole scriptures, all right? And so, I'm gonna stop it right there, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a part 2. All right, Lord willing, I'll be able to do it during my break. Okay, so I have to get ready to clock in to lock you for the short commentary. So I will come back and complete the next one. All right, Shalom. All right, Shalom. All right, this is your brother Bayan here, coming back to complete the lesson that I just started out with earlier this morning. Pretty much the title of the lesson will be Order Out of Chaos. I left out on the first clip, talking about the chaos of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that's gonna bring, he's gonna bring upon the whole world, specifically America, aka Babylon the Great. So another thing, I wanted to read a couple more scriptures, which is pretty much spot on to the video clip that with that guy, what he's saying, that chaos is going to reign. Okay, that's what he said. Chaos is going to reign, and so we can get I read Matthew the 24th chapter. 24th chapter in verse 7, right? Because it said, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, and that's talking about the wars, and all of the people are going to be in chaos. Okay, and it's all throughout the scriptures, as I mentioned in the first clip, toward the end of the first clip. Okay, so get a few more, which is 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and 22. We started verse 22, and it says, and suddenly shall the sown place appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right, and it's talking about when that chaos reigns, of course, everybody gonna rush and try to buy all the things that they need. Okay, just like the C19 agenda. Okay, you're gonna see that, and it's gonna be a lot worse during Jacob's trouble. All right, 2nd Esdras 6 and 23. And it said, the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall suddenly be afraid. Okay, why are they going to be afraid? Verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. You see, so this is when you're going to see a time where people were once best friends, and now they're enemies, okay? They can't stand to be in the presence of one another, all right? Reading on, it said, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. You see? And so that's basically wars among the people. Okay? Let's get 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 19. Okay? So, there's scriptures like this all throughout the Holy Bible, man. And these are future prophecies. Okay? And it says, a man shall have no pity, 2nd Esdras 15 and 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their good because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see that? In the lack of bread and the great tribulation, these are the devils that's going to cause their chaos. Okay? And to get one more, and then we're going to read a little bit of this article, which is 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 18. And it says, the beginning of sorrow and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, right? And the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evil. What shall I do when this evil shall come? Okay? And what shall we do? We, pray, you got to put your prayers up, call on Yahweh Shah, that he will protect you from these perils that he's getting ready to come, that he's about to bring on the whole earth. Okay? These things that we seeing, these small little clips that you see here and there, take heed to those, okay? Because it's about to be major, all right? You got people here in Tulsa, they still have their lights out and so on and so forth, but hey, it's going to be major. It's going to be a lot worse than what we're seeing now, okay? 2nd Esdras 16 and 19, it said, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as the scorn for an adamant. For a mammon. And it said, for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scorn. And that goes back to the when I read in the first clip, Isaiah the 60th chapter, and specifically the 2nd verse, where it says, gross darkness to people. Okay, so they either gonna be ignorant and they're not gonna turn back from their wickedness, or they just simply not gonna care. Okay, and that's what we're gonna be seeing out here. All right, so, reading on to this article right here, you got J.P. Morgan refused to reimburse customers who lost life savings in banking scam. You see that? And J.P. Morgan Chase said it would not stand by a customer who just lost her life savings in a slick banking scam. Deborah Moss said she had earned enough money to retire when she received a text message that appeared to be from Chase, warning her about a suspicious $35 charge, reports CBC News. Moss quickly responded to the text, and soon after her phone rang, her call ID showed the call from the Chase, and the person on the line claimed to be a Chase representative. But the caller was a criminal who tricked Moss into revealing her two-factor security code for the bank, and the span of about a week, six wire transfer drained nearly $160,000 out of her account. Okay, after notifying the police and filing a claim with the bank, Chase sent Moss a letter pointing the finger at her and refusing to make her account whole. Okay, so this is the article that's saying that they blaming the customer and so on and so forth. But as you seen in that clip, all right, the bank don't have to do it. They're saying the bank should be able to pay it back, and they actually snuck that law and going back into the video. Okay, so let's go back and let's hear it. All right.
And
Let's go back. Hold on.
Control. They're going to have to tell you exactly how long it'll take, but they need writing. They need depositors and creditors' deposits, and there's no guarantee.
Okay, hold on.
Law that says it will go to basically zero, just like Venezuela. If you want to see what's going to happen here, look at what happened to Venezuela when its dollar collapsed or its currency collapsed. That's exactly what's coming here. So everyone needs to be aware of this. They also, in another component, put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in, a big, 10,000 page bill, where the banks could seize the depositors and creditors' deposits, and there's no guarantee or even law that says they have to give it back. So this is already happening in other countries around the world. Banks are being burnt to the ground, and the media has a complete blackout on it. So that's how you know it's something they don't want you knowing about. They want you to be unaware of what's.
All right, and so going again, that Isaiah 62, he said that people is unaware of these things going on, and then that's also Isaiah 10:1 where it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree." That's a unrighteous decree that they snuck into law. Okay, a lot of people was unaware of that specific law. Okay, but the point was, the reason why I read that article was because they're trying to point the finger at the customer, but in actuality, the people who own the bank, they are the real criminals. Okay, they the ones that are stealing people's money. So, and because you saw when I read the little bit that I read in that article, there was some red flags in there. Okay, first and foremost, how did this specific person get that woman's information? Okay, it has to be somebody on the inside. It makes no sense for that, But and of course they're gonna call it a scam or whatever, so on and so forth. But that's the reality that we're dealing with. Okay, but it's going to be a lot worse because when you read up, listen to the guy even more, you see that they're going to crash the dollar specifically, and they're going to create all of these chaos. All right, so let's go ahead and play a little bit more of this clip.
So here's what I'll give you a timeline. Okay, in July they will roll out what's called the FedNow system. Now that is basically a payment processing system similar to PayPal or something like that. So from now on, right after that, they'll implement the digital currency. They'll crash the dollar, and then they'll force you. They'll let chaos reign for a few months. I don't know, a few weeks, few months, who knows? I can't tell you exactly how long it'll take, but they need rioting to go on. They need stores to be empty, which that'll only take 3 days after the dollar collapses. You're going to need to have 3 months of food, water, just necessary supplies, because stores will empty out very quickly. Think back to when the COVID scam was going on and how fast people rushed and emptied out stores. Okay, well, now just imagine money getting cut off. You have no access. The banks are closed. They will not reopen during this. There's no ATMs that will work. You're just out of cash. There'll be looting. There'll be rioting. It's going to be crazy for a little bit, and they need that. They need that chaos going on so they can force you into the digital dollar system. Okay, All
right, so and that's pretty much Revelation 13, right? I get that, Revelation 13 and 16, because he said they will force you into that digital dollar, right? And see, everything that he's saying is all in the scriptures, man. These are the future prophecies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, so Revelation 13 and 16, which we bring out all the time, right? And it says, and he causes, okay, who is that? He is the elite bankers, the Rothschilds, the 13 family. That's who they are, okay? Revelation 13, 16, and he causes, okay? When you go into that Hebrew word, he causes, it says paio or paedo, all right? And it says to make, to be the author of, the cause, all right? To produce, bear, shoot forth, to acquire, to provide a thing for oneself. And it said, verse, the sixth definition, to make a thing out of something, all right? To make, render one thing, all right? So ultimately, they're basically forcing people's hand, okay? And so you go back and you read that again, Revelation 13 and 16. He said, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, okay, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, okay? And so, and anybody that's listening to these other camps, man, you better take heed, because you got Bishop Nate, who's saying that this mark that they're talking about in Revelation 16 is he's saying it's sin, okay? And of course it's sin to take that mark, but they're trying to say it's sin, okay? And specifically that mark is a RFID CHIP. All right, that Michael C hip. Okay, that's what that mark of the beast is. Okay, there's no other way around it. All right, because he said he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And it says that no man might buy or sell. Okay, that no man might buy or sell. Okay, so basically that cause what he's just breaking down in video is that they're gonna set up the CBDC, okay, which is central bank digital currency. Okay, so that's gonna be pretty much the B system, right? And then the currency is gonna be that RFID micro C hip, all right, which is basically you're gonna have to get it in your forehead and in your hand, and that's how you're gonna be able to buy and sell, all right. And so that is the mark of the beast, man. So anybody that tells you otherwise, let them alone. Matthew 15 and 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. Okay, so that person that's telling you that the mark of the beast is sin, or you got some group that used to say that or I don't know if they still say it or not. They say that it's sleeping with white women. All of these other things besides what the actual mark really is. What the scriptures literally telling you. Get away from them. All right, don't even listen to them. You shouldn't even be picking up. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even pick up their phone call if you got their phone number. Right? Yeah, that's how serious this prophecy is right here. Okay. Verse Revelation 13 and 17 again, it said that no man might buy or sell save that he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. And verse 18, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 Okay. And that man, those elite bankers, is pretty much what I just explained earlier. Okay. The same man that control and basically have a patent on those RFID CHIP, right? He actually owned a patent to it. Okay, that's who that man is. Okay, that's who they are. All right, they basically want total control, and that's ultimately what they're leaning towards. All roads lead to the RFID CHIP. All right. That's pretty much it right here. And I'll play a little bit more, but ultimately, man, this is the future prophecy. They're gonna lead all of these things. We should be looking forward to. All right, we should be expecting these type of things. Okay, we should expect chaos to reign out, and that we saw a little bit here and there in Tulsa. You had people that were fighting about parking in front of the gas pump, fighting on who's in line, so on and so forth. You're going to see that happening on a large scale, okay? It's going to happen all over, okay? We played a little bit of this clip, and then we'll close out.
Digital currency. Now, that's horrible for a lot of reasons. One, they can tell you where you can spend your money, when you can spend it, how much you can spend. They can penalize and take money straight out of your bank account if they don't like what you're saying or doing on social media, or if they tell you to do something like take more shots and you refuse. So if they want to give you more shots and you refuse, they can just shut off your money. Just turn it off like a light switch. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you guys have no clue. Well, a lot of people, let me say that. A lot of people have no clue what this means and how much control they're going to have over everything you do or say. It's going to be bad. However, it's probably gone too far to stop at this point. I've been telling people this for a couple of years now. Other people have been trying to tell people and wake people up. It's not worked. Everybody's asleep. Everybody's focused on, what the mainstream media is talking about on any given day, all these crises they keep creating to distract your attention on what's going on here. So it is what it is at this point. And
you see, and that right there, I mean, how much more can I explain in this video? I mean, he's just breaking it all down, The FedNow
system goes in place in July. It's going to go full online in July. Okay? Once that happens, at some point between now and the end of the year, they are going to crash everything. It'll be the worst crash in human history. However, it's going to take phases for them to completely crash it. Okay? So the first thing they got to do is put the FedNow system in place. Then they have to put
the FedNow system in place. That's the beast system right there. Okay?
digital currency in place. That'll happen after, I don't know, a month, 2 months of chaos going on, rioting, all that kind of stuff. When people are just literally at their wits' end, then the government will come.
And when chaos ensues, see that, you know, people, they're going to be friends. You fight 2nd Ezra 6 and 22, reading on down to the 24th verse. Friends shall fight one another as enemies, okay? That's what they're going to cause, okay? He causes all, right? And so once he causes all and all this chaos is going to come, that's when he's going to bring in that order, okay? And so that's that order is, so they're going to set up the beast system, and then that order is going to be by way of that RFID-CHIP. All right, this is how they're going to come with it. You know, they're going to come speaking that smooth words according to Psalm 55 and 21. Okay, and ultimately they just basically trying to own people. Okay, they're going to get those smooth words. They're going to say, hey, all of your trials and tribulation will be over as long as you receive this mark in your right hand or in your forehead. That's ultimately what they're going to do. And that's why the title of this lesson is Order Out of Chaos, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're creating the chaos, and then they're going to have the order ready for you, okay? And if you refuse to receive that order, they're going to take you out. You know, if you get that order, or if you take that order, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to take you out. So ultimately, it's a battle between, are you going to serve the devil, or are you going to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, okay? And me and my people, we going to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Lord willing, you know, we have that endurance to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And we're going to refuse that mark, okay, that the devil is going to try to implement. All right, so we'll go ahead and read anybody that received that mark, okay? Anybody that, you know, this is exactly what's going to happen. There's a ton of scriptures based on that as well, too. This is Revelation 14 and 9, and it says, And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angel and in the presence of the Lamb. And it says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they shall have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receive of his name, to receive the mark of his name, okay? And again, that mark is that RFID-CHIP, all right? And that, you know, and we receive that mark. So once you receive it, you're basically a worshiper of the beast system, okay? Basically, you're serving the devil and not Yahweh Shem Yahushua if you receive that mark, okay? So if you are a servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, if you're a servant of, you know, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you better receive that, you know, you better refuse that mark, Salakia, okay? You know, like I said, there's other scriptures that basically prophesy of what will happen to you, that you know, that those who receive that mark, okay? You read Revelation 16 and 2, you know, Revelation 20 and 4, those who basically got beheaded for not taking that mark, okay? All of these things, these are future prophecies that we're going to be seeing in the near future, okay? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, we give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone for teaching me the truth 100% securely. Shalom, DTA, Abba Ba, Kwame Yasharala.
Out and say, okay, we figured out a way to let things go back to normal. We're going to implement this digital currency system. It's much more stable than the fiat currency. And if you want to get some of your money back that was seized by the banks, the evil banks, and they're all in on it together, you guys got to start waking up to the fact that all of this stuff, governments, banks, everything is owned on the planet by 13 families. They hide behind the scenes. They use shell corporations, things of that nature, asset protection, to where it's very difficult to track who's behind it all. But the governments, those are just puppets. They don't have any power. All these wars and everything, they control it all on both sides. Okay? They fund both sides. They're profiting off this misery and death and sickness and all this stuff. It's just a game. And people need to wake up to that fact. It's all just scripts. And like a movie, it's basically professional wrestling playing out on a global scale. Where they have a script, you got good guys, you got bad guys in front of the camera. Behind the scenes, they're all hanging out, getting drunk, and becoming trillionaires off of our misery and suffering. So